Imagine this. It's a crisp October morning here in Austin, Texas. I'm standing on the outer edge of my school's playground where I work as a dance movement therapist. The sun is shining brightly through the branches of the tall oak trees as I observe the students playing. Just a short distance from me is a 3-year-old who recently aged up and is joining their classmates this morning for their first time. As I watch this 3-year-old excitedly attempt to engage in play with a peer, I objectively observe how the interaction unfolds and how my body responds. In my work as a dance movement therapist, I utilize movement to psychotherapeutically promote the integration of a child's social, emotional, cognitive, and physical parts. What all those words mean is I use the body and nonverbal communication to support children's mental health. As I'm watching these two kids play, I notice that the energy of this interaction quickly changes as the peer does not submit to the commanding expectations of this 3-year-old. The 3-year-old's body makes a dramatic change from a regulated state observable through their light, free-flowing presence, shifting to a state of dysregulation, shown through that stereotypical upset young person pose. Oh, there might be some caregivers in the audience. Where just seconds earlier was a smiling, bright-eyed child willing to engage, is now a screaming, crying, defensive child attempting to hit their peer. As the adult, how do you handle a situation like this? When you were growing up, how would your caregiver have handled you acting this way? Would you have been scolded or punished? If it feels safe, I invite you to let your body remember what that form of discipline felt like. Did you receive love and support? Did you have a valuable learning experience? Did you feel safe? My assumption is that for many of us, we were probably not often met with a calm, compassionate response. But here's the thing, it doesn't actually have to be that way. As the caregiver in the playground situation, I have to make a choice as to how to proceed. I can choose to follow an older style of discipline where I come down hard on this 3-year-old and I hold them accountable for their actions. I can choose to follow that part of myself that flares up emotionally and instantly engages with feelings of anger. I can ultimately mirror back this child's upset, joining them in their dysregulation. Or I can try something different. I can try an approach based in the body and our biological imperative as human beings to be in connection with one another. You see, humans are hardwired to be in relation. From the moment we come into this world, our nervous systems learn to attune to those around us because we rely on the people around us to keep us safe. Our bodies have a built-in detection system called neuroception, where our nervous systems continuously and subconsciously scan the environment for signs of threat and signs of safety. In young growing bodies, their ability to control their own actions, thoughts, and emotions to self-regulate is still under construction. So for me, as I watch the crying 3-year-old attempt to take a swing at their friend, I choose to see this interaction for what it actually is, an autonomic response to stress. Their nervous system perceives the situation as threatening and is automatically defending itself. What this child needs from me is help regulating. Okay, so now what? How do you interact with someone in a state of dysregulation without becoming dysregulated yourself? Instead of taking in and reflecting back what they put out, I choose to share the calm and regulated state of my own body. I choose to compassionately guide this young person through those turbulent emotions back to a state of regulation and receptivity, a process known as co-regulation. I choose to non-verbally communicate, "You are safe," through my facial expressions, my gestures, my tone of voice, and my posture, a language I am fluent in as a dance movement therapist. So, let's return to the scenario on the playground. For my attempt at regulating this person to be successful, their neuroception will need to perceive me as safe. For that to happen, my body must remain calm. I steadily approach the dysregulated student. When I reach them, I squat down to make myself smaller. I drop my eyeline below theirs and I draw my limbs in closer to my torso, all to non-verbally communicate, I am not a threat. Now, side by side with this little person, I take a long, slow, deep breath. The long exhale activates the calming branch of the nervous system. I shape my body so that my torso is open to them just enough to create one child-sized cubby space. With only my body, I am inviting them into an embrace, if they so choose. Having worked with this student for over a year, I am able to personalize my approach to their sensory preferences as I reach out to gently stroke their back. Their tears continue to stream down their face, and their vocal cries strain louder. With an empathic gaze and facial expression, I subtly nod my head yes. To non-verbally communicate, I see you're having a hard time. This is stressful. I know that my attempt to send the message, "You are safe," is received because the child flings their arms around my neck and melts into my embrace. I continue to breathe slow, long, deep breaths as their weight gives in to the support of my body. I firmly wrap both arms around them, hugging them tightly. The deep pressure felt on our skin and in our muscles gives both of our bodies sensory feedback to further facilitate our co-regulation. I initiate a gentle side-to-side rock as I rhythmically pat their back and hum an opposing rhythm. I'll demonstrate, and if your body feels compelled to join in, please do. As we continue to embrace one another, I observe as the intensity and rhythm of their crying begins to shift. With each breath, this student is starting to breathe deeper. Co-regulation is working. By utilizing multi-sensory dance movement therapy tools like breath, sound, movement, affect, and touch, I guide this child's body back to a calmer state. only once their breath enters a smooth, even tempo, and their head lifts from my shoulder to make eye contact, do I consider verbally communicating. I see you lost control. I'm guessing that was hard. The student sobs loudly, yes, as their weight collapses back into my embrace. Through this emotional attunement, I fulfill their biological imperative to be in connection. When we're able to connect and co-regulate with a child in a moment of distress through our bodies, we not only meet their biological need to be in connection, but we facilitate their understanding of big emotions through their own body. Because only once their body is regulated are we able to pave the way to a more valuable learning experience. By providing yourself as the model, you help them identify and recognize the signals their body makes during dysregulation. You become their safe space to practice regulating. This interpersonal connection strengthens their ability to self-regulate, shapes their developing brain, and encourages their ability to show compassion and empathy. So remember, should you find yourself caught in a moment with a dysregulated child, or adult for that matter, remember that you already have the most useful tool to assist them, your body. Thank you.